Good afternoon. This is Press Peterson, the voice of NBC Radio, reporting to you live from the courthouse in Beauville, Mississippi. The atmosphere is intense as Wilfred Smith, a colored man, is on trial for his life. Smith attacked a young white woman, one Ora Lee Dupree. The weather is sweltering on this July 15th in the year of our Lord 1926 here in Beauville. And as I gaze out over this courtroom, I can see that even some of the coloreds are sweating. This trial that has dragged on into its third exhausting week should come to an end today. Meanwhile, down here in Mississippi, we may be seeing...
Oh,
Well, that big-head Garvey, one mean white man.
yeah.
You know what? He caught his brother with a colored girl one time and threatened to prosecute his own brother. 72 days later, his brother come up dead.
What are you going to wear?
For what?
For the hanging.
Oh, well, that depends on whether they're taking pictures like the last time. I always wear pink when there's photographs.
Well, somebody's lying. If he'd really attacked her, she'd have committed suicide.
Anybody touch my daughter ain't gonna have no jewelry.
I seen your daughter, and you ain't got nothing to worry about. Shut up!
This trial has developed into a battle of legal giants. The defense by John Brownstein, and for the prosecution, Mississippi's own Big Ed Garvey.
Afternoon, Garrison.
I think Big Ed is entering the courtroom now.
Sorry I'm late, Your Honor, but my wife has the gout and the kid was sticking pins in her feet.
Big Ed Garvey, one of the meanest white prosecutors the South has ever seen. But I see the judge is about to begin his final summation, and the fate of this young colored, a strapping field hand, hangs in the balance.
Now, before we move on to the summation, does the defendant have anything to say? Taking the Fifth Amendment, huh, boy? Smart move. Will the defense attorney get on with his summation? We don't have an eternity to wait.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the antebellum South, it is indeed a sorry day for the white race and the colored species as well. When a man of my stature must come all the way down from the civilized North just to defend this Negro. Negro. What a wonderful word. Derived from the Latin negrorum, meaning to tote. Now, say it with me. Negro. How soon we forget what the Negro has done for you. Who pricked your cotton? Who tied their hair up in neat little bandanas and sang softly as they wet-nursed your little miserable children? Who taught you the meaning of doodah? Hear how soon we forget. But I'm not going to let you forget. We paraded witness after witness before you, attesting to the fine character of this young man. This young man who gave his weekly check to his mother. Now, can you honestly believe that this young man would attack a hunk of steaming white trash like this? No. You're right. The answer is no. Now, I'm not going to beg. And I'm not going to plead. I have one last piece of evidence for you I want to bring to you right now. Because on the night of the alleged attack, My client was in jail. And you can't be in two places at once. Now, members of the jury, I want you to look inside your rational minds right now, and I know for some of you that's going to be an impossible task. But I want you to look inside there and bring back a verdict of not guilty. If not, you have proved to me that Darwin was wrong. And I say to you, if you can't find this man not guilty, then let him hang. No. Let him hang.
I now call on the great Ed Garvey for the prosecution's summation.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Oh, no! Oh, no, please. Please, don't hang my son. Please, I don't get let my son hang. He's a good boy. I swear he is. Please.
And Dicey, that ain't your son. That ain't your son.
Ain't your son. Your Honor, I believe it's the heat. It gets to him, you know. It's sweltering in here. Must be 115 in the shade and not a piece of shade anyway. Your Honor, you know, a lot has been said about this case, and I want to talk to the sheriff. Now, Sheriff, they say that this young man was not at the place where the rape took place, but that, how you doing?
That's good, Mr. Brown.
They say that he was in your jail. Is that true?
Yeah. Well, he'd been booked and incarcerated. But the attack was at night. You know how slippery they are.
Slippery is the key word, Your Honor. Slip or read. I found a book about Houdini in his cell. It's obvious he learned a little trickery from reading that book and let himself out of jail and performed the rape and then let himself back in. Slip or read. I have a sworn statement here concerning the defendant. Your Honor, this is a statement from Jed T. Tubbs, which says on the night of June 15th, he saw the defendant in Carson's Wells Field laying on an anthill nude. And the ants was taking little bites out of him and everything. He went over to help him, and he said, "No, thank you, I'm having a good time, just pour honey on me."
Unspeakable. Unspeakable.
Detestable, if you get my meaning, because we're running short of honey. That explains the honey shortage. And if that ain't enough, when you hear out of the mouth of this dear, sweet angel of mercy, this wonderful flower of the south, this innocent pecan budding in life, when you get, excuse me, would you tell the court in your own words what happened to you on the night of the 23rd? And if this don't break your heart, Your Honor, nothing on God's earth will. Go ahead.
It was a beautiful evening. The moon was full. The frogs was croaking on the lake.
The frogs were croaking on the lake.
The jasmine was in full bloom. You couldn't have picked a more perfect night for a quiet walk. There it was. I was out on the road, all alone, just me and Toto. We had just eaten porridge at the Three Bears house. And we was walking down the road when this here rabbit and a Cheshire cat jumped out of a tree. And then Humpty Dumpty fell off a wall.
Your Honor, a rabbit, Cheshire cat, Humpty Dumpty.
Your Honor, this man is obviously a master of disguise.
Your Honor, the only thing that's obvious is that this woman is ridiculous.
You see there, Your Honor? A man, a stranger from the north, comes and calls our belle of the south ridiculous. Now I beg you, to bring in a verdict of guilty. There's no other verdict but guilty, guilty, guilty. That's 5 guilty.
I can't stand it anymore. I can't let an innocent man go to the gallows. I'm the man who did it.
I was with her on the night of August 23rd. It was me.
Well, now, I was with her, too, long about 10 to 9.
Me too. What in the hell was you doing with her? Your Honor, it's obviously a case of mass hypnosis. Why, the mere thought of him wanting this woman has transferred to the whole community like a virus. Why, the next thing you know, I'll be saying I was with her along about 11:30. Why, if this is allowed to continue and this Negro is free, why, nothing will stop the pace of time. Why, the next thing you know, they'll be wanting appeals. That's right, fair trial and whatnot. That's right, then they'll be wanting to vote. No! And if that ain't enough, someday they'll be wanting to play baseball.
Great. Now, will the jury set about its deliberations?
Your Honor, we done reached a verdict.
Your Honor, that's ridiculous. They haven't even voted yet.
No need to. It's unanimous. We find the defendant not guilty. However, Your Honor, we find this carpet-bagging communist pinko Jew boy lawyer guilty of getting him off.
Absolutely incredible what is going on here. They have actually taken this man out, this lawyer,